Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gideon Sapon, and today I do a deep dive into the NPP presidential primary aspirants. The primaries of the NPP is scheduled to take place on January 31st. There are a number of candidates who are contesting for the Flagbearership. Dr. Baumia, Brian Agyapong, we have Yawose Edutru, and then we have Kennedy Agyapong. So I take each of these individuals and I do a quick overview of what I think, where they stand when it comes to how good they would be for Ghana if they become president, looking at their track record of whatever positions that they have occupied in the past. So let's begin this video with the popular Kennedy Agyapong. Kennedy Agyapong, as a lot of you might know, has been an MP for 24 years as a North MP. And we understand that he is a businessman, and in some quarters he is considered to be a very successful businessman. As such, I haven't really looked at his business side, but I assume he's done a lot of good when it comes to business-wise, and a lot of people are benefiting from his businesses, and kudos to him. But in this video, we look specifically at his political achievements over the past 24 years that he's been very active in Ghanaian politics. So point one for us, Kennedy Agyapong is a very outspoken person, and that also gives us a window into his thinking. And I think that there are a number of points that really give us clarity as to the kind of person, the kind of president he would be if he manages to be elected a flag bearer of the NPP. The first point I make is that he has been an MP since 2021. He didn't contest the last elections a couple of years ago, but 24 years. If you would ask me as a media person today, what was a significant policy decision or legislative decision or bill that he supported or backed for over the two decades that he was in Parliament, it would be difficult to point to one. He might have done it, but for now, that is really something which is really difficult to point out. And I see that for me, in my estimation, this should really go against him, because I think that the primary job of an MP is to really pass bills, review contracts, review legislative instruments, etc., and take policy positions that really benefits the country. So that is my point one, and this is something that I think is key, and that a lot of the delegates should take a closer look at. But then also generally, the Ghanaian public will have a critical look at this in the event that he happens to be the nominee for the flag bearership. Then the second point is the number of days he was in Parliament as an MP. Ordinarily, as a parliamentarian, you are not supposed to absent yourself from Parliament for 15 days without providing concrete reasons. And in 2022, this was specifically happened when Kennedy Agyapong absented himself from Parliament. That goes to show the level of commitment he had for state affairs. Fortunately, he was able to defend this decision, and his reason was due to poor health. So, but then this is something that a lot of people would consider when he is a flag bearer and it comes to a general election. Also because Ghanaians, we see a lot of business interests, a lot of our politicians have side businesses, and they tend to focus a lot more on their businesses than on state affairs. Then the third, which is a really big point, has to do with comments by Kennedy Agyapong sometime in 2023. So somewhere around September 2023, Kennedy Agyapong complained that he had not received a lot of contracts from the then NPP government, despite everything that he had done for the government. And I read exactly what he said, which should be on your screen. This is what he said. Those going around that Kennedy Agyapong has been given contracts. I met President and told him that from 2021, with all that I have done for the NPP, I haven't gotten any contract. He said, what? Ask Napo, even at the Energy Ministry, where I am strong as Ghana Gas Board Chair, I was given a contract that was torpedoed at the Central Tender Review Committee level. Agyapong lamented, and this particular report, I picked it up from Ghana Web. He reiterated that despite being subject of intimidation along with the blocking of his businesses, I have kept quiet. I insist that since we came into power, ask Napo, when I met the old man and told him, he was shocked, he added. So, we live in a society where we all believe that it's supposed to be a meritocracy, where people who are deserving of contracts, people who can really execute contracts, are awarded contracts, and not because of what you have done for a political party. I'm sorry, Kennedy Agyapong, but this shouldn't cut, and any Ghanaian who would vote for the upcoming election should really look at this particular issue. This goes to show the sort of nepotism that guides some of the decision-making process. And for him to even complain the sense of entitlement, I think it is unwarranted, and this should really go a long way to disqualify him from winning the NPP primary. Then I jump once again to another important point, and this point is also about Kennedy Agyapong. In 2023, somewhere in April as well, he complained about political appointments that were being made by the presidents. And here the context is that the complaint wasn't about qualification or the competency of the individuals who were being appointed, but the criticism was based on where these individuals were coming from. And I strongly argue against the fact that we have to divide ourselves and insist that such people come from these parts of the country and they are not entitled to be given positions by the fact or by virtue of where they are from. Yeah, so I read exactly what Kennedy Agyapong said, which I find very problematic because it deals with not considering positions based on competency, but then it tribalizes the whole situation about a political appointment. And this is what he said. Kennedy Agyapong was speaking in the Western region. By the way, I read this from Ghana Web News site. Kennedy Agyapong was speaking in the Western region when he made this known, charging members of the party in the area to also crave to enjoy the spoils of the NPP. They have also labored for. We were here in the Western region where they appointed the vice president from the north, interior minister from the north, defense minister, sports minister, lands minister, tourism minister from the north. Why are they the only ones who voted? He continued, if they want to be tribal, we will also be tribal. The party does not belong to them. They have used the central and the western region for years, and after they have made it, they want to treat us as slaves. We are not animals, we are human beings. So essentially, this is how he thinks. You can only understand how somebody thinks through his words and through his actions. And obviously, this sort of thinking, which says that if they want to be tribalistic, we will also be tribalistic, is very undermining of good governance. We don't need that. We run, and we have to run the state based on competency. A lot of the judgment debts, a lot of the unfinished roads, a lot of the unfinished government contracts, a lot of the corruption that we have witnessed in the Akufo-Addo government all stems from the fact that people who are not qualified sometimes end up being appointed into certain positions. But then we talk about the qualification, we talk about the competency, But you cannot talk about the fact that somebody is from the northern region, and by the fact that he's from the northern region, he is not deserving of a position. That is tribalism. That is political division. That sort of politics results in violence. It results in chaos. It breaks apart a nation. And from these comments from Kennedy Agyapong absolutely disqualifies him from leading the country, much more being the flag bearer. Then, final point generally why I think Kennedy Agyapong shouldn't be voted for the flag bearership position. And generally, this also every other candidate also falls under this bracket that he played a part in the Akufo-Addo government, and we witness how a nation shouldn't be run by Akufo-Addo, the disaster of a president that he was, the economic turmoil that we had to endure, the loss of jobs, the collapse of the banks, the debt restructuring program where pensioners had to fight the state for their money, and all of that, the haircuts, it was a disaster. And currently, the corruption allegations that is being unveiled every day goes a long way to show that most, if not all, the candidates at the moment, including Kennedy Agyapong, do not qualify to lead this country in the next elections. Some candidates may have better chances and better opportunities because they probably might have done some other good work. I will do a deep dive into the other candidates. My next video, I look at the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia. Watch out for that. Let's meet next time when we look at Dr. Bawumia. Thank you. Have a nice day.